Hi, welcome back to the Follet ebook. If you're sitting comfortably and you're ready for a little story, we'll begin chapter 3. Follet never saw Ordug again, but Ordug had told him the truth. The adventure had been extraordinary. When Follet left the bar, he turned left and walked down the street. He walked past shops and restaurants, the buildings beginning to need painting or small repairs. At the next corner, on a whim, he turned right, and there she was, parked all by herself, a heart-stoppingly blue 1959 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz. He stopped. The windows were rolled down, and he looked inside. Leather bucket seats, air conditioning, cruise control, an automatic eye, automatic headlight dimmer, and easy eye glass. Follett's heart actually skipped a beat. The keys had been left in the ignition. On a whim, Follet opened the glove compartment. Inside was an envelope. He opened the envelope, the title and the registration both in his name. Hands shaking, Follet put the envelope back in the glove compartment, closed the door, walked to the driver's door, opened it, and slid in. He turned the key, and the big V8 rumbled to life. Follet pulled out into the street and never looked back. Now he was walking down a tree-lined street looking for a lemonade stand. There it was, up ahead on the next block. It might have been straight off the cover of Life magazine or a sentimental advertising campaign. A bare wood box with two sticks, one on each side, supporting a hand-painted sign, "Lemonade $1." The image was classic, but the prices had changed. Perched on a metal folding chair behind the box sat a little girl. She must have been 8 or 9. Light brown hair cut in a page boy, wearing light blue coveralls and a pink shirt printed all over with black and yellow Batman logos. "Lemonade, mister? I squeezed it myself." "You must be Margie. I met your grandfather over at his garage." Follet introduced himself. "My name's Follet. And yes, please, I'd love a cool drink." Margie took a plastic glass from the stack on the right side of the box and poured it 3/4 full from a matching plastic pitcher. She reached under the table and grabbed 2 ice cubes, which she dropped into the glass. She wiped her dripping hand on the bib of her overalls. "That'll be $1, please, Mr. Follet." Follet reached into his pocket and fished out 4 quarters, which he laid on the box. "Here you go, Margie, thank you." Follet raised the glass and took a small sip. A little tart, a little sweet, just the way lemonade should taste, and then a bigger gulp. He caught a lemon seed in his teeth, raised his hand to his mouth, and spit it into his fingers. "This really hits the spot, Margie." Margie smiled and picked up the 4 quarters. She stood up so that she could slip the coins into the pocket of her coveralls. Follet finished the glass and turned around, looking to see who had called. The call. Follet put the glass back onto the box and smiled at Margie. "I've got to go. The lemonade was very good. See you later, Margie." "See you later, Mr. Follet. Have a nice day." Follet walked down the street, looking at the well-kept houses, trying to find the source of the calling. It was almost like a soft tapping on his shoulder, or a whisper, almost loud enough to make out, or something half seen out of the corner of his eye. But its insistence was unmistakable. He could not ignore it. He walked along a privet hedge and came to the corner and turned to his right, and he knew. On the other side of the street, 3 houses down, a big, sprawling Victorian, painted bright, almost golden yellow, with all the blindingly white gingerbread trim anyone could ask. Cut and pierced frieze boards, scrolled brackets, ornate cornice brackets, sawn balusters, braced arches, 6 or 7 gables, each with a pineapple-topped pinnacle, and each window framed by board and batten shutters. And on the second floor, lace curtains fluttered in an open window, and he knew where he had to go. Follet walked across the street, up the walk, and up the steps to the front porch. He opened the front door. He had learned that no doors were locked to his kind, and hurried up the stairs to the second floor. He turned left and walked down a short hallway to the room with the lacy curtains. He opened the door and saw a man and a woman asleep in a bed. The man had dark hair, parted on the left, and pale skin. He seemed tall and thin, with strong arms and a muscled back, but a sheet pulled over at his waist covered the rest of him, except for a bony foot thrust out at the foot of the bed. The man was not Follet's concern. The woman wore her strawberry blonde hair cut short and slept against the man's back like a spoon. It seemed that she needed to touch him even in her sleep. Her shoulders were dusted with pale freckles that flowed down her long back, that was covered all the way down to her high waist and the cleft of her buttocks. She was the reason Follet was here. Follet looked around the room. The bed was an old mahogany four-poster with pineapple finials that mimicked the pinnacles at the roof of the house. The sheets were a pale yellow cotton, and an old quilt in a vibrant yellow double wedding ring pattern was pushed to the foot of the bed. The floors were wide golden pine boards that were as old as the house itself. A window seat with white cambric cushions ran the entire width of the front of the room. To his left on the wall sat a four-drawer mahogany dresser with a mahogany shaving mirror with a drawer underneath on top. To the right of the dresser was a door leading into a bathroom with white and black hexagonal floor tile. To the right of the bathroom door, before the window seat, was a Moroccan leather Eames chair. And draped across the chair sat a stunningly beautiful woman looking at Follet. Follet's mouth opened slightly in surprise, and the woman raised her index finger to her smiling lips to silence him. He nodded, frozen at the sight of her, and the room began to change.